If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Alto Call MAFS. I am your host, Tane, here to recap this episode, Season 19, Decision Day. In less than 30 days, we made it to the end. We prayed for times like these. We are experiencing it in real time, and it feels so weird, but I'm excited to talk about it all with you guys. And had to run it back, had to bring her back. My co-host today is Aid. What up, Aid? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I am excited to talk about this episode because I cannot believe what I was watching with my own eyes. 5 for 5? What the fuck?
I know, right? When we were 4 for 4, I was like, "How we 4 for 4?" And then I was like, and because from last episode, I was like, "Well, Will already told us he's going to say no, but 4 for 4 is pretty good." And then pulled our own switcheroo, and we got 5 for 5. I will say, I was very confident. Neither one of us has watched the reunion yet.
Yes.
But I was like, there's no way they're getting 5 for 5 at the reunion. That much I know.
I'm looking at these people like, guys, come on. But you know what? Help their stats. But this is not tracking with everything that I watched. But it was funny is that I went on Perfect Match Patreon and I said, like, I think Jalen is gonna say no. And then they released the whole pictures of them in their reunion looks and things like that. And I saw that Jalen and Josh were matching. I'm like, oh, so maybe they stayed together and I got this wrong. So
So
who knows?
funny. Jalen and Josh have always been they're making it. They're making it. At least a year or two at minimum.
Yeah, they were the golden couple. And then things just took a turn after Burning Man, Community, all that stuff. And I'm like, are we actually seeing Josh's authentic self? Because he just agrees to everything. And I'm just like, I'm not sure. And then there's that caveat, which I asked in the last episode. Was Chad lying? I don't know. Again, we have not watched the reunion, but did Josh say something to Chad? And then as soon as he saw it was blowing up, he's like, I did not say anything. I did not talk to that man. I don't know what's going on. So who are you talking about, Willis? So who knows? But we'll see. I mean, I can't wait to watch the reunion, but I didn't want it to color my decision day takes. And I wanted to go along with the people since they were feeling so happy. But before we're going, a little housekeeping for you guys, reminding you that patreon.com/AltoCallMAFS. You can listen to episodes ad-free on there. You can also listen to bonus episodes. Right now, I'm covering 90 Day Fiancé, the tell-all. It's in 4 parts. And gonna have Aid for the next episode, but part 1 and part 2 are up right now. And these people are a mess. But are you caught up, Aid?
I am. And yeah, those people are a mess.
So you can catch up on that. And as MAFS is ending or winding down, just reminding you guys that I do cover other shows that are not Married at First Sight. I'll be picking back up with Jen with couples therapy. We were like 4 episodes left and we took a break just to get through with MAFS, but you can join us. Couples Therapy, it's on Paramount Plus or Showtime. We are watching season 4. And Love Island. Love is Blind Italy is coming back December 1st, and I will be covering that season also on the regular feed. And if there is anything else or any ideas you have for what to cover, let me know. Send me a text, send me a pigeon. I will add it to the list and consider that. I also want to correct that last episode, I said Megan and Derek's baby would be due right about now. That was a mistake because the weddings were February 2024, not 2025, which is just, that was a long time before it aired.
Yes, a very long time. But even as you were saying it, I was like, no, she's got her timing wrong. They got married last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just sorry guys. I just didn't fathom that it was that long. So, okay, we're going to dive into this, but before we do, there was something I want to talk about. So, BravoCon just ended, right? You know, we've had the pleasure of going before. We've talked about it on here. Did not go this year. I had all the FOMO in the world. But my little yes, I did. You know, I thought I wouldn't, but I don't know how. I had all the FOMO in the world, I'm not going to lie.
And so I feel BravoCon might be a one and done for me.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to ever go with me again, sorry about that. I'll go. But I had no FOMO. I was like, oh, nice to see other people getting to experience BravoCon. I am falling out of love with Bravo in a lot of ways, though. Like, I'm
Yeah.
barely hanging on to the housewives that I watch. I don't watch any of these silly ancillary shows. That's what I call them. So yeah. But what were your thoughts on BravoCon?
No, it was fine. I think it's kind of nice to see all the news in the comfort of your couch, but also just I remember the thrill of being there, like, you know, going from the panels, just being there live. And something about that is just being with people who understand just everything about it. And I think I'm the opposite of you in terms of you call it ancillary shows. And I just think they're the better shows than the actual Housewives. I've said it more than I've come around on Salt Lake City. Like I'm actually enjoying Salt Lake City now. And I don't think like they're a flash in the pan. But the other shows I do enjoy, I will say. But what I was gonna say is I had such high hopes, right, for Married at First Sight. And I feel like what it did with Peacock is not it didn't hit what I wanted it to hit. One, I really wanted them to be at BravoCon, but of course they couldn't be because I'm sure, you know, the decision they hadn't aired. It'll be hard to like, oh, are you a couple? Are you not a couple? And I know some people like it's on Peacock, but the Love Island people were there and McBee Dynasty people were there. And yes, it moved from Peacock to Bravo, but you can make an exception if you want. I just thought that Married at First Sight would be in the zeitgeist. And take away BravoCon, I didn't see any like, oh my God, did you see the show where somebody got, we didn't have any water cooler moments. And I'm a little sad. I don't want to say disappointed. I'm just a little sad that our little show, it's not little, but our show did not, you know, have a moment coming on Peacock, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I
Hmm.
am an optimist.
Okay.
I feel like this is just the beginning.
Okay.
I still don't think well, you're like the Love Island. I was like, well, the whole like they're only on for one season. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing people arguing about it on the internet. It didn't have a viral moment. It didn't have a Chris moment. Let me put it that way.
But we haven't had a Chris moment in a long time. It's still like top I
No.
checked. It's still like top 5 or whatever on Peacock. So I do feel like it's getting good numbers, but once again, I'm an optimist.
I feel like we've had to like even the whole Madison and David thing. That's a moment, something like that. But I mean, we'll see. Again, I'm looking forward to 20 when it's fully Peacock's production and it's not them trying to condense lifetime production in mind. But just wanted to get that out the way. Like, you know, I really want this show to just blow up and, you know, I want people to talk about it. So that's it. All right. Can you believe there were Decision Day?
No, I could not believe it. Just kind of hit me. Like when I was watching the last episode and they start saying bye, I was actually confused. I was like, what? Wait, we're there already?
Guys, for everyone, this is our training season. By next season, we should be used to the fast forward, all the things gone, and we're trained. We're ready for the marathon next season when they come back. Okay, we're going to start with Jalen and Josh. Jalen is feeling really confident with her decision. Josh is hoping for a yes, and he's like, if it goes a different direction, he'll always take a part of it with him. Jalen's biggest reservation is that they are two different people and they're make or break. And now that she's married, she doesn't know the difference between what do you work through or what do you not. Josh gets there first, and what do you know? Dr. Pepper is there. Mm. They all seem to recognize her. So I think someone has sent in a comment like maybe she was just edited out and her conversations didn't really have any impact. And I just it's just such a choice to not have her all season, but she's there and they're all wearing pink, and so is Jalen as well. Your favorite color, Aid?
I did. I know. I loved it on Jalen and Dr. Pepper.
Not on Dr. Pia.
It was okay, but hers was a pattern, right? I was
Her
looking at
pants
this.
were pink. Yeah,
I was
hers
looking
was
at the
pink.
solids, and
Okay, so she comes in. Josh is like, "You're looking hot as always." She says, "You look good." They talk about their lifestyle differences. And Dr. Pepper is like, "Let's not beat around the bush. Like, you mean festivals and Burning Man, right?" And I was like, "See, this is why we needed to see her on the show." Josh said he hopes that she can move past it and they can find new, everybody say it with me, communities. And Jalen says she feels good that he's at least prioritizing them. And Jalen said she just doesn't want him to say, "Yeah, it's fine that you don't have to go," and then he resents her for it. He says he doesn't see it being a problem, but as we all know, that is what Josh said when Dr. Pia was there. And the minute she walked out the door, he's like, "Well, I didn't realize it meant that much to me." So I do think their biggest problem is the fact that, can we trust whatever Josh is saying in the moment, or is he saying it to get along? And like Jason pointed out a couple of episodes ago, another big problem is, are we good with the ex? Because we brushed that under the carpet.
I do not understand how we didn't resolve that because
It's
in
so
my
weird.
mind, I think he lied about unfollowing her because he still wanted to follow her.
Mhm.
And then he must have had a really good reason. I don't know what it could possibly be for
Yeah.
wanting to follow her. So maybe he never unfollowed her, but instead of lying about it, he was honest with Jalen.
Yeah. It's a open-ended puzzle that we never talked about again. So they do that thing where they're in the middle of something and they're like, "Well, the time has come. You have to decide. Are you getting married or are you not?" And they make their decision. Josh says it's a yes, and he would love to stay married to her. And Jalen says that, they're different, but their core values are complementary. And she feels so lucky to have met him, and she would like to stay married. Jalen says, they're doing their flyaways, and she's like, she loves who Josh is, and he carries her away, and the experts are just as happy as a clam. Thoughts?
It was good. It was good. Um, it was. I very much was predicting that they were going to say yes, so I didn't have any surprises there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're saying it. They were the golden couple of the season, but there's just something about them that's something is missing. I don't know what it is, and I hope if okay, it feels like they're hoping on a prayer that it works, but I don't know if everyone is truly being honest. Let me put it that way. They just want all the bad to just go away. I hope they work out, but it just feels like, and it could be just residue from the edit and it being just going so fast. But Jalen never, like, Josh is in it 100%. I'm not doubting Josh, but Jalen seems like she's not quite sure and doesn't quite believe that Josh is okay with the whole Burning Man thing, and it bothers her way more than she's letting on, I guess.
Uh,
So yeah.
but I see. I think my flip side of that is if Burning Man is really y'all's biggest problem, that and the word community. If that's all they had to show us, maybe that's a sign that things are really actually better with you than they seem.
Hmm. Or on the flip side, are we still keeping things surface and we haven't gone deep?
Very true. Very true.
Well, we'll find out in the reunion, because the reunion is like my favorite timeline, where it's like it's a good full year for us to see, what happened. A year and some, actually, right? February 2024 to they filmed November 2nd, 2025.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a good time for a lot of things to happen. So, can't wait to see if they're still together. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, talking about Rhonda and Pat. I was so sure this was a no on
And I
both
mean, it
sides.
kind of was.
on both sides. So this was something. So Pat says that he does not know what he's going to do. And I'm like, come on, Pat. You know what you're going to do. And Rhonda is like, she appreciates him. It's been
I,
hard. Oh, go ahead.
I thought it was very notable that Pat said, I have deep feelings, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, oh, you're saying no then. So I felt like he was telling us he was going to say no before he said no.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, Rhonda says she appreciates him. It's been hard, but it's been everything she has ever hoped for. They do their montage, and it starts with a cover of Whitney's "Dance with Somebody." I'm saying that playing in the background, and they show like a montage of their good times. I just thought it was really cute. Just the whole thing of the song playing in the background, her dancing, and then jumping in the pool, and then just all their good times. It was just nice. So Pat says he wants this to be the ultimate love story, but he has to listen to his heart. Another way of saying I'm
I'm going to
saying
say
no.
no.
So Rhonda actually gets there first. And I was going to ask you, I mean, we see it a couple of times later, but have we ever had a situation where the wife was there first? I mean,
And they have like a full on conversation with the experts
yeah,
before the spouse comes.
yeah.
Like, no, we have not. And I was confused by it.
Yeah, and I didn't like the full on conversation, and we'll get to it, especially for Will and Brittany, because there were things he said I wish he said when she was there, but we don't know what's being cut off. But Rhonda says she feels at peace with her decision. She wants them both to be happy, but it's important for them to do what's in their heart. Based on this statement, what do you think Rhonda was going to say? Honestly, I thought she was going to say yes.
Well, it was one of those things where I think she had figured out that he was going to say no. And so I felt like she was getting ready to say no.
Yeah, I think when she figured out that he was going to say no, but I think coming in, I think she was going to say yes. And that's the surprise to me that she even considered
Hold
saying
on.
yes.
Okay. See, I was really paying attention to what they were saying before they left.
Mm-hmm.
She said, no matter what happens, I hope he knows how important or special he is to me. I was like, oh, she's going to say no.
Yeah, but Jalen also said that last episode. No matter what happens, you're important to me and you're amazing. That made me think she was going to say no too.
Okay. Well,
We're going around in circles. Okay. Well, Rhonda says she can't help it. She says this is when he comes in and he sits down. She's like, "Oh, I can tell that Pat is in a totally different place." And this is because, Rhonda can't help herself. Like, I just feel like she can have it as a thought. She doesn't have to say it out loud. But she's like, I can tell he's in a totally different place because he has both his hands on his laps. His legs are crossed. He's leaning back. And I'm like, Rhonda, don't talk for him. Just let this man be on decision day. And she's like, that tells me that he has made his decision and it's not to hold my hand. And I'm like, Pierre's like, well, Pat, is she right? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, we are diving right in. So he's like, I have to listen to my heart. And this is where I was in my first marriage, a marriage that we never really talked about the entire season in a way. So there were red flags, he said, and he ignored them, and it set him on a long path. And he has a history of not trusting himself. He says, I don't trust that I will be seen and heard in this marriage as my authentic self. Rhonda says, I want to ask something. You have said in the past that you have not been your authentic self. So, how can I see you when you are not that person that you say that you are? And Pat says, well, I can give you an example. Pat came ready today. And he's like, the one consistent thing that I have heard for the past 8 weeks is that I don't care about you. I have heard that over and over again. And yet I'm being my authentic self, doing everything I can to be there for you, to support you. And those are all part of my authentic self. And still, I don't feel seen. I mean, I was kind of proud of Pat.
I know. I'm like, I feel like I've been waiting the whole time for you to say this. And like, I mean, I'm not saying that it always felt a little bit like a war and
Yeah.
like Pat should be defending himself. But
Yeah.
upon reflection, I mean, choosing to take a different tact wasn't a bad idea. But I was very happy for him at this moment. I was like, tell her.
Yeah, like just speak up for yourself, just a little. So Rhonda says, I think somebody asked her, like, what do you think about what he said? And Rhonda's like, we are talking a lot about Pat and his needs and what he wants. And my emotional needs have not been met. And the reason he hears it over and over again is because they have not been addressed. And Dr. Pepper tells him, like, if you address the things she's complaining about, then maybe you won't hear the things being said over and over again. And Dr. P is like, correct.
I
And
was
I'm
so
like,
mad.
huh? Am I crazy?
I was so. I think this is okay. If you, what the way I see it is okay if Pat is doing his best,
Mm-hmm.
and it is okay if it's not enough for Rhonda.
Mm-hmm.
But this man is doing his best, and if it's not
Mm-hmm.
enough for you, let's just end this. Which is where we were supposed to go today.
Yep. Because I know when they said that, I was like, first of all, it is a common complaint. You hear women say, oh, I keep repeating myself. My husband isn't doing that. Get it. But this is deeper than that. Like, Rhonda is in tears. Like, it's like a repeated offense. And this man keeps saying, like, my spirit is dying because I think I'm doing my best and it's not good enough for you. And I'm like, he said that. He was vocal about that. She is valid in feeling like it's not being met. But again, like you just said, if he thinks he's doing his best and she's still unhappy, can we just all agree that it's a bad fit? Like, what is this that we're doing? And then Pastor Cal says, I tell couples to focus on the good. I mean, which is good advice, yes, because whatever you focus on the most is what you're going to experience the most. So they both list like nice things about each other. And she says like she has just been really frustrated with him and the frustration, has pushed him away and she apologizes for that. They ask Pat, how do you feel about that? Pat says, well, I feel tenderness from her that, he likes and appreciates that. And it's helping him rebuild that trust. And he came in here and he was not going to move forward. But now he's thinking, am I being too rigid? And then Dr. P is like, look at your body language. It's changed. And now you flipped. Now Rhonda is the one who's like kind of like stonewalling and he's like more comfortable. And Rhonda is like, well, the elephant in the room is like, I had a husband who was on the same page 24 hours ago, which is why I thought she was going to say yes again, Aid, because she said they were on the same page. And I guess he was going to say yes. Then he says he's not on the same page. And then now he's on the fence again. And honestly, I'm glad that Rhonda brought it up because I'm like, experts. I just wish they would have picked it and made them, talk about it. And they would have just switched to decisions if Rhonda hadn't brought this up. Don't you think?
When he said she's right or yes, I was going to say no, whatever he said in response
Mm-hmm.
to her, I was like, oh, so we're done. I didn't realize we were going to have a whole
Conversation.
conversation in which they seem to be working to change his mind.
It's all about the stats, Aid. Never forget. It's all about the stats. um, Well, Pat says he understands why that would be destabilizing. And if he says, let's continue, it's because he cares about her and he wants them to stop the cycle. Rhonda interrupts him and says, but you have to listen to your heart. And I'm yelling at my TV. I'm like, Pat, stand on business. Stop flip flopping. Like, you came in here not wanting to do this. Like, I almost said, do that thing that people sometimes say, like, yeah, maybe say no and then you can try on the outside. But then I always hear your voice, Aid, where you always like, it has never worked.
I
Beyond
will
the
agree if
camera.
you are trying to try anything, you got to say yes on decision day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. But I just think, like, to me, all this happening now, even though they said, oh, let me just get to the yes. So Pat says he wants to stay married and then grabs her hands and was like, yes, I want to work on this. I want to be better. And Rhonda says, like, I want to be honest. Like, she came here feeling all of the things that he's saying now, like, I want to be good, I want to work on it. And now she doesn't feel as hopeful. But there is no place in her heart that's ready to say no. To me, that's two different things being said at the same time. But she's really scared, and he's like, I see you. I see you. And Rhonda says yes, as I want to say it's a Taylor Swift, maybe it's a cover that was playing in the background. So they're making it as romantic as possible. And Rhonda tells us that they chose each other today. They hug. He says, I love you. And she says, thank you for choosing me. And he says the same. So what I was gonna say is like, yes, they both said yes, but for me, everything that happened in this decision day is not a good thing to start a marriage off camera with. This to me is like, if you're flip flopping and coming in like, yes, I want to, no, I don't want to, okay, yes, I want to try. And then on Rhonda's part, she's like, I came here, I don't feel hopeful, but I don't want to let you go, but I'm scared. There's too much
It
that has
felt
to be
like he
worked
was
out.
browbeaten into changing his mind.
He was.
So
I
no,
feel
that's
like
not a great way to start a marriage.
it's not. I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I feel like every couple, well, besides Josh and Jalen and Megan and Derek, the rest were browbeaten into saying yes. But yes, color me surprised. These two said yes. I was convinced this was gonna be a no. So 2 for 2, baby. All right, take a quick break and we'll be back with Megan and Derek. All right. Derek says that decision day is different for them, given their situation, and he feels confident in his decision. She's wearing red, and he has a red pocket square. So, guys, we already knew how that's gonna go. She came in first, and Pascal actually asked, like, "Oh, did you guys plan the red?" And she's like, "Oh, he knew I was gonna wear red." They go through their journey, do the whole montage, and then Pastor Cal just coincidentally says, "Oh, children, you guys talked about children. Has that been talked about?" And then Megan is like, "Oh, yeah, actually, I'm actually pregnant." And all the experts are so surprised. Aid, do you believe this is the first time they had heard about that pregnancy?
If not, they did a great job acting. But I'm like, we know that you guys get reports about what is going on. Did they did the producers save this so that they could get the reaction that they're getting right now? Or are you lying? I could go either way to be honest, because they did seem genuinely surprised.
They really did. And I'm with you. They could go either way, but both sides, I don't know. Because the last episode, I was saying, like, it's a choice not to come talk to these people, knowing that they're pregnant, but why would they keep that for? That's an important update, I guess, for people who get updates every day to not let them
Definitely.
know. So it's either we say they're very great actors or we're like, they were really surprised and didn't know. And I don't know how I feel about either, honestly. So, and then the thing is, she says it again, and we were not trying. And I'm like, um, guys, I'm not
I
gonna say it again.
I just I feel like there's a world of difference between birth control didn't work and we weren't trying. And that you're not saying one, you're saying the other. And the thing is that doesn't work. Either birth control failed or you were trying unintentionally. Did you not know how babies were made?
It's the not trying thing all over again. And I think it's fine. Like, again, she's told us they were having sex every day unprotected. It's just the fact that every time they say, "Oh, you're pregnant," she goes, "We were not trying." And I'm like, well, okay. But everyone is excited. They're so happy. They're so excited. Pascal is even dapping Derek like my man and all. I mean, I guess. So congratulations to them. But for them, I don't know if they felt like there was anything to discuss. I think I got a comment, right, about once they found out they were pregnant, it kind of made Megan and Derek's personality just all about the baby and there was nothing else. And I was thinking, oh, go ahead.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
But you had more thoughts. So
No, I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't isn't that what happens? Like in all the things I hear and all the things I see, it's like once kids come into the picture, they take precedence over that. But it is true that their storyline kind of shifted to that, right?
Their storyline had to shift to that. But I just felt like we saw more sides to them. Either they changed.
It forced it out of, like, we were forced to see that we would never have seen that if they didn't have to discuss, like, having to babysit the children, um the handiwork, I guess, that Derek did, car shopping, talking about the future. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but I just, even things like how great Megan was with Brittany at the couples retreat. That was a side of her that whoever you talked to for that episode and you like discussed how,
Jason.
like, wow, it was a different side of Megan that we hadn't seen. I agree with you that it wasn't surprising in any
Yeah.
sense, but it was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's a side of Megan that we haven't experienced. That had nothing to do with the baby. I just feel like we just got to see different sides to them.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think the part two of what I was thinking about was, would they have been, did the baby bring them together, or had they hit their stride by the time they found out they were pregnant? Does that make sense?
It was like, it's very hard to see what came first because
Yeah,
we never, this is not a experiment. I guess it's,
it
you know what
is
I
an
mean?
experiment.
It is an experiment, but it's not like a controlled experiment where we got
Yeah,
to see both. We just,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think I'm just glad that they were in a good space, or they were forced to get in a good space, because what it was the first half when we first met them, that was not pretty. So I'm glad they are whatever they became, and sort of kind of became the golden couple, I would say.
It's hard to be the golden couple when once again you are kind of forced into it through circumstance.
Well,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I think
but
that will forever be the argument. What came first? Did they hit their stride, or before they found out they were pregnant, or did the pregnancy force them to hit their stride? Oh no?
that will be the eternal question.
Yeah.
I think this happens with couples all the time, though.
Mhm.
An unexpected pregnancy, I mean, it can go either way. It can destroy your relationship. It can, but I think there's plenty of people out there who have kind of found themselves in a similar boat to Megan and Derek, and it, like, they've
I
gone
made
on
it
to
work.
happiness.
Mhm. Again, we have not watched the reunion. It's like, as we're recording this, all I'm thinking about is, like, what is this reunion going to make us sound like? Because I have
I,
no idea.
no idea. I Something that has bothered me throughout the season. Like, I don't know. I am of an age where I have known a lot of people who have a lot of babies. I've also known a lot of people to have a lot of miscarriages in the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So I understand that she's pregnant, but I'm not presupposing a baby out of this because it's just way too early. Um, yeah. And I felt like that was never, I mean, you can't acknowledge it in any way that, like, would make
Yeah.
sense to people, but that's the truth of the matter. Especially a first pregnancy, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just always a risk that you take. But I mean, it's hard, I think, when you're in TV. And, if you look at it technically, they didn't tell the rest of the cast, and supposedly didn't also tell the experts either. So I don't know.
I, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they go straight to decision, because really there's nothing else to talk about after that. He says yes, she says yes. Derek says thank you to them. He's just happy as a clam that they were matched together. Dr. Pia says invite us to the baby shower, and Pastor Cal is like, now you guys go do what married people do. So
Like, dirty minded in that every time I hear him say that, I'm like, is he telling them to go have sex? Like,
that is my assumption, because I mean, married people do a lot of things together. So what could he mean? But because he says that all the time when he comes in, and I think that's one thing I do think I want back on MAFS. The lines are blurred now with the experts, and I want it to go back to the beginning when there was, like, the spiritual, the intimacy, the financial, the whatever. Because now it's like, Pascal, Are we encouraging people? Because he's always, the one saying, don't let them be your friend. Go have sex. Go do this. You don't want to be in the friend zone. So I'm with you. I always assume it's sex, but if there's another meaning, please let us know, I
I
guess.
was like, they have a baby on the way, so clearly they were not having trouble there, Pastor Cal. They made a whole human.
Yep. They need no help there. So, okay. 3 for 3, guys, if you're keeping up. Belinda and Chad. For sure. I was like, this is a no from Belinda. But what do I know?
This is the couple that should have been a no. More than the other four, these are the ones who I will tell you right now, I will be shocked if they're still together at the reunion. I'm willing to stand on business with that prediction.
When we're done, I want you to tell me how many you think would be standing at the reunion. Okay. So Belinda's doing her own makeup for decision day. She's telling us that she's having a heart to heart with Lovey on the bed. And Chad says, like, they've been trying to make it work, but then he hates that term, that it's such bullshit. And Chad says he wants to be with her and cannot imagine a life without her. Belinda says if she doesn't continue with this, she'll be missing a partner. She doesn't want to be alone anymore. But she also doesn't want to lose her voice, but she needs to remember that she matters. Did you read deep into this comment like I did? Like, you know what? I'm just going to say yes so I'm not alone and I have a partner? Or was I reading too
Somehow
deep?
I was wishful listening and I heard the opposite. I was like, need to have a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Chad is not the one. Oh, she's figured it out, but no.
No, that's not it. So they make it to decision day. Oh, can I just say the venue was gorgeous? I was trying to think if it was the same place they did. Was it the ultimatum? I want to say, but my memory doesn't go that long. It just kind of looked familiar, but I thought it was pretty. And it's the third. I think San Diego was outdoors too, right?
Was the ultimatum kinetic too?
Oh, that's a good question. I think so. I think it was because you remember they had that season in Austin.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you said I was like, I think that they did use this venue at the ultimatum.
Yeah, it is kinetic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you they used the same one.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so Chad shows up and he comes with flowers for her. He's a grand gesture guy. And they talk about their journey. And still cannot believe that they went through the whole season and we never heard anything about his previous marriages. But okay. Chad said he had incidents, but he thinks he did very well for a while, patting himself on the back. And then it's time for decision day. And then Chad gets on his knees and is like, I love you and I want to see the rest of the world with you. Will you stay married to me? And I don't know. I didn't like that. This is like when you propose to someone publicly and then, like, I can't say no. Everyone's watching me. I have to say yes.
That I mean, that I didn't. Yeah, it felt it felt exactly as you described it. Now I have to say yes.
Yeah. And I think maybe because I went into it really thinking that she was going to say no. So she says, like, if I had a reason to walk away, it would be if we weren't committed and not working on it, but we're both committed and we're working on it. So I'm going to say yes. And my notes exactly was I cannot believe we have a 4 for 4 right now. Like, she
But that was
actually
such a weak four. I'll give her that. It's definitely like a I'm not giving up quite yet. Which, if you follow
That's
my
fair.
thing,
Yeah.
if you have a prayer or a glimmer of a hope, you have to say yes and see it through. Because if you say no, there's no coming back from that.
That's true. I think my problem with them was just where did everything come from? Was everything there and we didn't see it? Or was it always there and it just came out now? All the like the problems that they had with each other, you know? So, but Belinda says she wants to make it work. She says he's all in. They both want to make it work and they're both in a good place. And then they dance away to their happily ever after. Yay. And we have our final couple. We have Will and Brittany. Save the best for last. As you guys recall, last episode, Will called Brittany. I was like, yeah, I'm going to say no, just preparing you. Heads up. So Brittany says she was hopeful about today. thought it was a definitive yes. But then he called, said he was going to say no. She didn't want to show up, but she thinks that she should hear him out and he should do the same. And they're married. She believes in marriage and they should fight, but she is not in a good spot at all. Will gets there first. They're asking, "How are you? What's going on?" Will says, "I had more thoughts. I'm all over the place because, I'm saying no." And I just told her that. And he just blurted that out. I think Dr. P was like, "What?" Nobody gave her a heads up that he was going to say no. Did you think she was surprised?
Yes.
I don't know why he did that. No preamble or anything. So the experts are like, "Oh no, what happened?" He says, "The theme is that she doesn't think that I'm trying or I'm feeling anything that I'm doing. Like, I just don't want to feel like she tries to compare things to how she feels. And if it's not how she feels, then it doesn't matter. And in that way, it feels like it's not validated." He says, like, it hurts when she says things like this, and when she says things like, "maybe I'm not the one for you," and he doesn't know if he can live life not being enough for his partner. Solid points or bullshit?
I thought it was very similar actually to the Pat and Rhonda dynamic.
Okay.
You keep on saying I'm not doing X. I try to do X. You tell me it's not good enough. It's a valid feeling, but I also think it's like Will likes to I feel like all season long Will has played like I'm Mr. Logical.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like, oh, she's the emotional one and I'm just not like that. But clearly somehow you made an emotional decision very
Mm-hmm.
suddenly, very quickly. I'm like, don't ever listen to these people who are like, I'm not emotional, I'm logical. You're emotional. It
Good
was an
point.
emotional decision you made there, Will.
Good points. Or a mix of both. He said he thought about it for a long time and is like, if I'm not good enough, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put you through that. And I'm not going to put myself through that.
I'm not even disagreeing with it. I feel like it was something he did to protect himself.
Yeah.
Like being told you're not good enough hurts.
Yeah. I think the,
Um,
the, the situation at the boat just put him over the edge because we're giving him kudos like, "Oh, you actually said it, looking forward to growth," and still that wasn't good enough, and he's like, "You know what, I give up, I'm not doing this anymore." But in terms of like calling her and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna say no," that was emotional. But Will thinking that he is being logical is like, "I'm not gonna blindside you because I care about you, so I'm giving you a heads up." But I just think it's a lose-lose situation. Whether you tell her, whether you don't tell her, you have just discombobulated her either way
it
on
was
decision day.
it was very last minute, and I was thinking back to your interview with Eris. Eris said, "I got wind that Jasmine might be saying yes, and I was gonna say no, so I
Mhm.
made sure to tell her." And I don't think that moment was on camera. I think he waited for an
Mhm.
off-camera moment to make sure. That's the most respectful way to do it. That's why I was like, this is must be have been a very rapid turnaround decision because if you were planning to say no, you could have done what many have done before, because I think they have done before, and told the other person, I'm saying no. But you waited till the last minute.
Yeah, that's true because Brittany said they were both on the same page and they were going to say yes. And then you just reminded me and put some credence into my last guest, Mari, where she said that this is probably like the first time we're having cameras on the couples actually like giving a heads up, like, "Hey, I'm going to say XYZ." So,
You know what made me laugh?
what?
Because they showed us everything. They never show the girls using a makeup artist, but we knew Brittany used a makeup artist because they showed this moment.
Yeah.
So like they showed Jalen like patting her face, and I was like, oh, so they staged that because you girls do get makeup for
No.
decision day.
No, I think it's by choice. So like Belinda had hers done by herself. Brittany chose to do that because I had the makeup artist on and she said like she worked with Brittany. I think Brittany requested for her. But you can get a choice if you want to do your makeup by yourself or if you want someone to come in and do it.
I think if they're giving you a choice and they're paying for it, I have no idea why you wouldn't.
No, I think Brittany's paying for it on her own. I could be
Oh,
wrong. But that's my guess. Cause you know how like even for us when we have like our big weddings and then some of us just go get well, I pay for someone to come do my makeup and for like big events. Something like that. That's what I understood
Oh,
it to
okay.
be. So I think she had a good relationship with them and is like, "Oh yeah, come on down. Come do my makeup." But I will verify that. But that was my guess on that for that. Okay, so back to decision day. He says that, yeah, it's not validated. So this is what I meant that he explained all this to the experts and he's not actually telling Brittany. And when Brittany comes, it's not like they had some variation of that conversation again because she said she wanted him to hear her out and for her to hear him out. But what eventually happened was just her talking and he didn't get to say anything, and again, I have to put the caveat that it might have been edited out. So, but after he says everything he says, Pastor Cal's response is, it's almost like she wants you to fight for her. And I'm like, sometimes the advice is good, right? But I don't know if they're responding to what the person just said. But did you think that was like it matched what everything he just said?
I think that she was responding to what he said when he called her to say, I'm saying no. I think that that was a much longer conversation than just, I'm saying no. It was, I'm saying no, and here are the reasons why.
Okay.
And then she had time to be like, wait, this is what he's upset about. And so that was her response to it, but we never saw the first half of the conversation.
Wait, this was Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal says it's almost like she wants you to fight for her.
But Pastor Cow was saying that in response to everything she said, which was in response to what he said that
Mm-mm.
we didn't see. That's the way I saw it.
He was responding to Will. She hadn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, well, maybe I don't know. But he gives him credit and was like, you know what? First thing, I'm just proud of you. You admitted that things hurt. We've never seen that from you before. And I'm like, okay, I guess. And then Brittany comes in, and I mean, it's not cold. They hug, and it seems fine. And the minute she sits down, she starts to cry. She's crying already, and she says, like, she's shocked because she was so excited and she apologizes to him and was like, if I haven't been able to express what you mean to me, like you just bring me joy, you are uniquely yourself. At this point, everybody in the room is crying.
You know what I found so interesting? I felt like this was like Brittany has been, are you going to say yes? Are you going to say yes? And the whole time I'm like, do you like him? Like, you are so concerned about whether or not he wants to be with you. Have you thought
Mm-hmm.
about if you want to be with him? I've not heard that from you. And
Mm-hmm.
so this was the first time I felt like I heard from Brittany something that wasn't like, but do you like me? But do you like me? Do you care about me? Do you have feelings for me?
Mm.
It was like, this is how I feel about you.
Yeah. I had that question a couple of episodes ago, but at the couples retreat, do you remember when they were sat around and she was saying all the things that she liked about him? I feel like it was similar to this. These were the same things that she said that she actually liked him, but maybe without the air of to reciprocate, I guess. And she just laid it all out there and bared her soul to him. But yeah, he's crying too. Will is crying, Pascal is crying, Dr. Pierre, Dr. Pepper, and I'm like, wow, so she says she can't do this and stops talking. And she says, I'm just so sorry if I haven't made you feel important. Again, she says, this is stupid. And I'm like, don't say this is stupid while you're saying nice things. Like, let's try and get the nice things out. But he says he's thankful that he could make her feel that way, that he didn't know that she felt this way. I think I was surprised by that. Were you?
I'm surprised that he didn't know that she felt that way.
Yes.
I'm not. I know
Oh.
we've all been watching the same TV show, but I feel like we haven't been because this was, I don't know. To
She
me, this
just
was
hasn't
revelatory.
she has an anxious attachment style, right? We can agree on that.
Yes.
And she just really didn't know where she stood with him because he's not a reassuring person. He's just matter of fact person. So she just really wanted to make this work. So it's that eager, anxious, I'm not sure energy that you're reading. Is that fair?
I'm sure. But at the end of the day, my question is always when you are concerned about, are you going to say yes? I need to hear it because I want to be with you. And I don't know that I ever heard that from Brittany. It was just because I think you are great for yourself, not as like the role that I've picked as husband. I I feel like this was the first time I heard this from Brittany.
Hmm. I feel like it was not the first time, but I see what you're saying. Man,
And
these
if it's
two.
the first time I perceive that I'm hearing it, I'm like, is this the way he feels too?
I think that's the thing. We've been so focused on we're not sure how Will feels, but it could be the same thing for her. Like she's saying yes, I like you, yes you do this, but the entire journey it seems like you've been sad. So is this someone that you want in your life? And that has always been the conundrum, me inserting myself in their relationship for me with them. Is like, oh, I feel like it's cute. You may work, you may not, but it also looks like struggle love to me.
I'm with you. And I mean, I feel like I'm like really picked on Brittany in my last few like minutes. But I've had a lot of problems with Will too.
Lay them out, sister.
I've been really bothered like this whole like this is just who he is. It's sometimes it felt like an excuse to just not consider someone else's feelings in what you
Mm,
say or do.
hmm.
Oh, it's who I am, so I don't have to try. I don't have to. I learned social graces. I
Yeah.
mean, in some ways, I just felt like he was too old, and then I didn't appreciate him acting like there's just no way this is the first time you've heard this. If you've been in, maybe you haven't been in the relationships to teach you, but to act like you don't know basic, like, oh, I shouldn't talk about how we're going to break up all the time. I didn't know. Like, why didn't you know that?
Okay. Now you've evened it out.
Which is so funny because I have to say, I mean, this has been the most likable cast there ever was. Like, there is no
Yeah.
villains.
Yeah.
I, Rhonda gets the closest, and even then, she's just not that bad.
Yeah, that's what Jason and I were saying. We're like, if we did a list of villains on maps, nobody in this cast is touching that list, no matter what. So, great, great, great cast. But yeah, so she comes in and she says everything that she says, and Will is not saying anything. And I wrote down in all caps, Will, say exactly what you just told the experts so you can have a dialogue about it. But that did not happen, and they cannot hear me. So she says that, I was scared, and I've never really said, I guess even she herself agrees with you, A, that she's never said it this way because she was scared that they would get to a place where he says that he didn't want to be with her, that this right here is her worst nightmare. And he says that that was a lot of things that he hasn't heard before. He knows he's not the easiest to understand. And she says, I'm just asking for time. And then she says, him crying does something to her. Um, I don't know how I felt about that. I know what she was trying to say, right? I understand because Pascal kind of said something similar where he's like, "Oh, even you admitting that you were hurt, that's something we've never seen from you before." But it also brought me back to you remember Beverly Hills when it felt like the ladies were telling Garcelle that, "Oh, we can relate to you," and then the minute she cries, like, "See, we see you as more human now. Now we get you." So I'm not gonna put that on Brittany because I don't think Brittany was thinking that way, but I think something Will said to the experts before she came is kind of true. Like, if she doesn't feel things the way that she does, and she's like an emotional person, she cries, and that's how, she expresses herself. So I think she was relating to him, like, oh, yeah, see, you are crying, and that makes me feel like, you have some emotion or something. But the thing is, we don't know what is making him cry. That's the other thing. He's just not expressive. Like, you could be crying for a million and one reasons, but we don't even know what it is. But do you think that there are a couple that time will benefit or no? Because I've been saying that, but I'm just like, let's just quit while we're ahead. Like,
They are a mystery to me. I have no idea whether that is one couple that I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen at the reunion. Sometimes I see flashes of like this could really work,
yeah.
and then I see that struggle love you talk about.
Yeah.
And I think that in some ways he's really selfish.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I
And
think the
that's
oh,
wrong,
go ahead.
actually. They just don't, to me, they don't emotionally relate to each other.
Yeah, 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 they're not incompatible. I don't think it's wrong. Like I think that we can say that in some ways maybe he is being selfish, but it's not intentional. I don't think his intention is like, "Oh, I'm just going to." He's just he's been this way for a while, and it's just going to take a while to change. And I guess the question is he even capable of
Does she,
changing?
does he think she's worth it?
Yeah,
Like, I just did not think it was that difficult
but
for him to sometimes put a filter on it to protect someone's feelings. When he acts like, oh, well, I just can't do that because that's just not who I am. I really, I'm not a fan.
but it begs the question because there's been some people who think that he was just never into her. Does he even really like her? But I think we can ask that question of both of them. Does she really even like him? Like, yes, she likes who he represents, and then he gives her that. And I think I said that in one episode. Like, the thing I don't want for her is breadcrumbs. Today, oh, we got some love. We're good. We're happy. Then you pull away again and you need your time, and then you don't have it. No, nobody deserves that inconsistency. But it's going back to what you said or what we mentioned before is like, is it that you actually like him or you've seen that, oh, I'm married, I believe that I should work hard for my marriage, and it's like I'm gonna work to the death for it to work, but is there actually something to be saved here, you know so um he says that he's trying to process because he cannot undo the call and he's all over the place, and he says he needs more time, and he gets up and he walks away. And I'm like, experts, hello.
I I
You're right
love how
there.
I was like, so are we done? Because he walked away.
Yeah.
Is he coming back?
I'm like, mediate, say something, questions. That didn't happen. Will says he got the validation that he needed, and she says she's trying to get better, but she has been doing it for 2 months. And at the end of the day, it's his decision. He's having all these thoughts while walking on the grounds, guys. And then he comes back, and I'm like, this is so dramatic. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how you can change your mind. Now we've had two people just change their mind, like just like that. And they said, well, it's time for a decision. I'm like, really? We're not, no conversation? Cool. Brittany says it's not hard for her. She's going to say yes. Will tears up a little, says, I adore you. And he doesn't say, I love you. And they have a lot of growing up to do, but he says, yes, he wants to be with her. He wants to give them a shot. And, they haven't been in the real world. So give them a shot in the real world. And I'm like, wow, these people really were 5 for 5. So they do their confessionals, and Brittany says she feels like they are each other's person. She sees herself married to him forever. They tell each other, I love you. And that's it, guys. Season 19, over and out. 5 for 5. And I'm like, what did I just watch?
I do. Okay, it's 5 for 5, but they had to talk two of them into it.
No, you're supposed to forget about that part.
I
Go with it.
was like, this is not a pure 5 for 5. 10 people did not show up planning to say yes today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, all the answers are going to be at the reunion, but you know, Will and Brittany's uh decision day was just like their entire journey all season long. They
Very
took us up.
confusing. Like, what?
They took us down, and it's like, wow, we'll see what happens with these ones. But yeah, that was it. Do you have any extra thoughts? Any side thoughts?
No. I mean, I will look, I love the new format. This season has made me love the show again. um, I would just say good job to Kinetic and Peacock
Yeah.
for taking the show in a new direction. But I just think this is like collectively, this is like the best group they've ever had. Um,
In all seasons?
I just cannot think of another season where we had 10 people who were so committed to the cause.
That's true. I don't know if you heard, but Jason and I were trying to figure out the last time we had all the couples make it to decision day, and we think we ended at season 9.
Like, just make it to decision day to make a decision?
Yeah, people quit.
Okay.
We've never had all of them make it to decision day. We had people who quit before, ahead of time.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's crazy. So good for them. Good for season 19. So, anyways, I still wish the influencer bag for the MAFS family. I wish them the trader bag too. Well, can you see anyone? I have one person, but if you could pick one person in the entire cast to be on traders, who would it be?
Megan.
Really?
Mhm.
I picked Rhonda.
I feel Megan is just funny. Like I would, maybe I'd pick the person who I think I would enjoy the most on Traders.
No, I think she's a good pick. It's just I had to pick one, but the first one that came to mind was Rhonda. I feel like she would be like Dorinda.
Everything
And
about Rhonda is chaotic to me. She stresses me out. And it's so funny because what presents in the beginning is like, oh, she's so fun, she's so energetic, she's so, by now that we're this many episodes in, I'm like, chaos.
all right, guys. Well, I'll be back to talk about the reunion where we find out everything that's been going on. And Aid will join me for the 90 Day Fiance on Patreon, part 3. You know where to find me, guys. Everywhere on socials is Altar Call MAFS. And please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It helps the podcast. And stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.